Hey guys, it's Moib here from the University of Greenwich. In this video we're going to be looking at simultaneous equations. Okay, now simultaneous equations will always come up in your exam, so you need to know how to do this. Okay, on the board here I've got a simultaneous equation. This is one of the easy examples that you may come across. When they tell you to solve a simultaneous equations, all they want you to do is work out a value of x and a value of y that fits both of these equations, that satisfies both of these equations. So what we're looking for is the value of x and a value of y. There are a few techniques that you could do to work this out. The one I'm going to show you now is the process of elimination. Now what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate one of the variables. In order to do that, we want to make one of them equal the other. Okay? So I'll show you in a minute how this works. We're going to label both our equations 1 and 2. If we look at our x variables, we can manipulate the first equation so that both these x's have the same coefficients. Okay? So our first equation, if we multiply our whole entire equation by 3, we'll get 6x plus 3 times 3 is going to give you 9y, and 19 times 3 is going to give you 57. What I've done is I've multiplied the first equation by 3, and I've got this. I'm going to label this as our third equation. Now if we compare our second equation and our third equation, we see that they both have 6x. What we can do now is we can eliminate this 6x. To do this, what we're going to do is we're going to take our third equation here, and we're going to take away our second equation. So this line, take away that line. Okay, so let's perform this and see what happens. If we do 6x, take away 6x, we get a 0. This is how we've eliminated our x variable. Now if we look at the two y variables, 9y, take away 2y, gives you 7y. And if you do 57, take away 22, that gives you 35. As you can see here, we've eliminated our x variable. So this we can just ignore, and all we have left is 7y equals 37. The next step would be to rearrange this to get 35 over 7. This works out to be y equals 5. Now that we've worked out our value for y, we can plug this into our original equations to work out x. So let's try this. We've got y equals 5. Let's substitute into our first equation. Okay? So we've got 2x plus 3y equals 19. If y equals 5, we get 2x plus 3 times 5 equals 19. This works out to be 2x plus 15 equals 19. If we rearrange this, 2x equals 19, take away 15, 2x equals 4. 19 take away 15 gives you 4. Remember, when you're taking 15 to the other side, the sign changes, okay? So then, if we simplify this final line, we get x equals 2. Now we've worked out a value of x and a value of y. Now in order for this process to work, both these values need to satisfy both these equations. We already entered it into the first equation, so we know it satisfies that. So now we can test it by putting both these values into our final line. Okay? So our final line here was 6x plus 2y equals 22. We have x equals 2 and we have y equals 5. If we substitute these values in, 6 times x is 2 plus 2 times 5 equals 22. Now if this is correct, the left hand side should equal the right hand side. So 6 times 2 is 12, 2 times 5 is 10, and that does in fact add up to 22. That's how you can check in your exam whether you've done this correct or not. In the next video we're going to look at a slightly more difficult example that uses the same principles.